Hello and welcome everyone. So I'll be explaining Codeforces round 770 Division 2 Problem C, Okea. Um, let's jump into the problem. Well, in this problem basically you're going to be given an n times k grid, and you have to say you're going to be given n times k grid with consisting values from 1 till n times k. 1 till n times k. Each value should be occurring inside this particular grid exactly once. And you have to say whether you can make a grid like that where there will be n times k different values from 1 till n times k, such that for each and every row, listen to me carefully, for each and every row, any number of subarray, if I pick any number, any form of subarray, for each and every particular row independently, if I pick any subarray, and that subarray's arithmetic mean should not be a fractional number. Rather, it should be a complete integer number. So my question, they've asked was that they've asked about that whether I can arrange these particular values from 1 till n times k in such a way that the following condition fulfills the grid. Whether if there are some arrangements available, then I have to output that with a whether it's possible to make or not. If it's not possible, then the answer is no. The best way to think about this problem is to consider the parity of the numbers. Now, we know that numbers have two types of parity. One could be even numbers and then the odd numbers. And let's just focus on one particular row. Okay, let's just focus on it. Now, what could be the possible way that possible array that we could make such that it fulfills that operations? If I go along with the parity of numbers, then it might look something like that. If I go for an odd parity numbers, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11. Now, if you pay closer attention and if you try to manage any subarray, you will see that it actually does fulfill our condition. Any subarray you want, and if you try to get the mean, arithmetic mean, it does give us a fulfill integer without any fractional number, and that's because their parity are same. They're either all of them are odd or all of them are even. So that's like an observation for one particular row. And also one thing to notice is that after following and observing this type of operations for each row, now the question comes, is there gonna be how could we now arrange it? If we could make one particular row like this, where every number will have a parity, their parity should be equal, parity should be same, they should not be different. If it's different, then the answer does not fulfill our condition. Okay, now to make this work, we're gonna think about it like that, making each and every row with the same parity, either even or either odd. So in order to do that, if we look at the constraints, we're gonna see that now we're gonna take n and k, right? Now this n cannot be odd. If this n, or meaning the number of rows cannot be odd, because in order to make this possible, make the grid possible or arrangement possible, the number n should be even. It should not be odd, because if it's odd, then you cannot just uh, if it's odd, if n is odd, what does it mean? It does mean that there might be a condition or possibilities that you won't be able to arrange the numbers in similar parity each and every row. That's why we're considering when n is even. Okay. If and Now the real question is, how do we arrange those numbers? Now, the observation that I actually implemented was, in order to make the parity of each row same, was to consider the numbers and inserting the numbers row by row, something like that. Let's say I was actually moving from 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, and then 5, and then 6, 7, 8. As you can see, okay, I actually made a mistake. If n was odd, just now look, if you take a look at it, if n was odd, then I cannot make the parity same, as you can see. But if n was even, if n would have been even, then it would be possible to make the parity same. If I just draw a grid, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. As you can see, each and every row, if n, as you can see, n is even, and it does, and thus we get each and every row with the same parity. If we arrange the numbers like that, you could have arranged another way, maybe there could be another possible way to arrange this in order to make the same parity of each row. But yeah, I did this. I implemented this way. 1, 2, 3. As you can see, they're same parity. They're all even. They're all odd numbers. They're all even, then odd, then even. Even and odd number, the numbers are same number of even and same number of odd numbers are placed here. Now I did not actually check the condition for each and every test case of what's gonna be if k equal to 1, if k what would happen if n is odd, or what would happen is if n is even. What I did was simply implemented this observation. Simply implemented this observation where arranging the numbers like that, and after that what I did, as the n and k was so small, the constraints were so small, so that I first implemented the grid, and then I made a check for each and every row to find out all the possible subarrays, such that whether I can make the arithmetic mean not any fractional number, or whether it gives any fractional numbers or not. And based on that, I've made my decision whether to move forward or not, whether I can make my arrangements or not, in order to make the answer possible or not. That's how I actually did that. As you can see, if I take you to the code section, that you would understand more about it. Okay, as you can see here, the row section, each and every row section I actually filled. As you can see, the row section's for loop is inside the second for loop, not the first one, because I was actually traversing in uh, in a bit different way, like that. It was actually going like that, first thin and then this way, and then from top to bottom. Actually, I was traversing and arranging those values to in order to make the parity same. And I'm not considering any kind of corner cases because it will be covered when I'm gonna like check for each and every row, each and every rows, all possible subarrays, arithmetic mean, whether it gives a fractional value or not. If it does give a fractional value, this is the condition. If it does give a fractional value, then I know that I cannot make the desired grid that they actually want us to make. Then I'm gonna break it down. I'm gonna break from the loop. Otherwise, if I get my flag value equal to 1, then yeah, there's an answer, and just outputting the answer here. Okay. I hope I made you guys understand the problem. And please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And yeah, till next time, goodbye.